In the previous few episodes, we prepared ourselves and our boat for a 500-mile round-trip sail in the Gulf of Mexico from Clearwater to Key West and back. We beat into more waves and wind than we expected for 2 days and 2 nights. It wasn't all bad, but it was harder than we expected. We're tired and we're just glad to finally get to Key West. Adventures like this aren't always easy, but at this point, we had no way of knowing that this was the easy part. Having only a couple days to spend in Key West before having to sail back, we decided to stay in a marina called the Galleon Resort and Marina. It's right in the main marina in Key West, about 900 feet from Duval Street, and it's about $200 a night, but it was well worth it. It's the first morning of our Key West experience here, and so far it's a nice morning. We saw the Coast Guard going out. And it seems like all the activity starts early. Yesterday evening we tried to go out to dinner, we did, and our bodies were just too used to that boat movement, and then you're on land and it feels just as weird as when the boat's moving in the beginning.
We were a little bit of a hot mess walking.
Yeah, sore.
And it felt like we were moving and swaying, and yeah, we were a little sleep deprived. I would say we slept a total of 7 hours approximately in the 56.5 hours that it took us to get here, and it was all broken up in shifts of like 1 to 2 hours each, so it was definitely not optimal. So last night we slept really well though. One thing I can say about this marina is it's guarded by these rocks here, and even though there's a lot of water activity out there, we're like barely moving.
Yeah, and we're on a floating dock, so we're tied real tight, so the boat can't really move on its lines. So yeah, like we couldn't detect we were on a boat last night sleeping. Yes. It was great. Glad to be here. And just think, so when we were out there, at some point that light was submerged. We hit a wave so big that light submerged. The roller furling and the anchor went underwater many times, and water just went over. In fact, it leaked into our hatch and got a lot of our stuff wet. So that's how big those waves were we were dipping into. Oh, look at that big iguana on the rock right there. Going on a walk in the morning.
Look at the rooster walking too.
The rooster's walking down the sidewalk over there too. How did they get the lines to shore? That's what I want to know. This is just crazy to look at. It's insane to me. There was a lot more good video we took in Key West, but unfortunately what happened on the way back would have us lose some of our equipment and some of the video also. All right, we got our table set up and Susie's making some breakfast in there. Yep. Breakfast in Key West on Envision.
Bon appetit.
Yeah, we're just sitting here finishing our breakfast, and the Key West Express is going by us. It's in this marina we're in is part of a bigger marina, which is like the downtown Key West marina, and it's like, so that pulls right in here. Yeah, so we thought that might pass us when we were on the way here, but we were too far out to see. It was like maybe 3 to 5 miles away from us.
Time to refill our water tank. So what do we have, a 25-gallon tank?
Yeah.
This was practically empty, so now I want to make sure that we fill it up a little more. We're still going to be here another day and a half. I would say the absolute best thing about this marina is having this slip, or one of these slips here along the jetty. I think that's a jetty. And there's the channel. Just came in from there, looped around, came in here. Dockmaster helped us. We wake up to this.
Windy this morning. It's the day before we leave. I'm starting to look at the weather for our trip home, and it's starting to look like we're going to get some real strong winds, but at least downwind, which is always good. That was really tough beating into the wind the whole way here. So looking forward to a downwind run. I just hope the waves aren't too big and the wind's not too strong, but we'll just have to reef and be careful. We motor sailed a lot, and I want to put a GoPro down by my prop and see if there's any fishing line or ropes on it or anything. Morning. Also have to go fill our fuel jugs and maybe put some fuel in the tank. I have to see what level of fuel we have, make sure we're all topped off. And I'm going to adjust our release mechanism for the main sheet. I'm starting to look at the weather for tomorrow, and I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Here's a small glimpse of what life is like living on the boat for a few days. Oh, first, here we go. I'm making breakfast. This tiny little space over here, a little cramped. Got to get everything ready ahead of time because I got to be in a hurry here to cook on this. We have 2 burners, but only 1 pan. And if we had 2 pans, it's kind of hard anyways. Everything kind of tilts and swirls, but I'm not complaining. It's just a little bit of a tight squeeze here. Got a little toaster, and well, a little stressed out, so I gotta make us some drinks before I start cooking. Got my very butchered version of a michelada going on here. Get some little tahini in there. In Key West. A little rainy today. Looking a little cloudy and rainy. Hopefully that clears up soon so we can go on bike rides and go have a great time. Slaving away.
Yeah. It's still, well, it was raining. Now it looks like it stopped raining. Oh, it cleared up a little bit. It looks a little more clear now. It's kind of windy though. It's going to be like this when we leave tomorrow. A lot windier than we would ever go out in to just go sailing. But we don't have a choice now. I was having trouble on the way here releasing the main sheet, so I'm going to change the angle of this, but it ended up being a big mistake. And due to the weather being so bad on the way back, there was no way I could adjust it again, so it ended up being like a mouse trap. It was just terrible. See, now I can reason. Look at this thing here. Yeah. Now when I pull it down, look at this angle. I got just barely down like this and it releases. Okay. And I just got to pull it around like a. It's more like it wasn't hot enough. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so I want to. Part of my checklist before we leave is to check the prop, because we motored sailed so much that you know, there could be like line on it or something. We went through a lot of fishing areas and it wasn't really propelling us that fast. So I just want to check it. And I forgot my selfie stick, so I made one out of this contraption here, which I think will be good enough for me to hang under the boat. Here's the prop. Dude, look at that, Grand Harbor 47. Gosh. Nothing's easy with boating.
Nothing.
Never. Well, we're getting ready to get our bicycles, so the place, we're at the Galleon Marina. You can just call and have bicycles delivered. You know, it's hard coming down here in a sailboat with only a week vacation because a couple days here, a couple days back, and you know, there's not a lot in between, and then there's a lot of stuff to do to get the boat ready. Like, it takes up a lot of time also. Look at that sweet Maverick. Chickens,
We are here at the Grand and we're out to dinner for our anniversary. Starting off with some bruschetta. When you're in Key West, this is a must.
Sunset from the boat here. Kind of looks like that. The Fury sailboat just put its sails down. We should go much faster on the way home. So I did some calculations, and you know, on the way here we had a minimum of 4 knots, which is all we really hit because we beat into the wind the whole time. But if we're going home, we're downwind in heavy winds, 18 knots, and if we go just a knot faster, we save 11 hours. If we go 2 knots faster, we save 18 hours. So, you know, our time we get back is just so different. There's just so many variables that change because you just don't know how fast you're gonna go. Anyways, I figured all that out. We're gonna try and leave around 10 o'clock this morning, maybe 11.
We just left our marina, heading out. First we're going to head into the wind so we can put up our sails. A lot going on out here. Jason is reefing the sails, trying to keep us into the wind. Mainsail is up. We have a double reef, right?
We got a double reef main, and we're headed downwind, hitting what, 4.7. So that's good. We're gonna see, we can put some Genoa out if we need to, but we're in 18 knots right now, and you know what, we don't ever go out on bad days. We're real windy days, so I don't have a lot of experience at close to 20 knots, except for that one night we went out, or day. So we'll see what happens. Where? I don't see them.
There to the right.
Oh, they already came over? Oh, I see them now. Okay. Wow, this is really windy. We have we'll be way happier when we're going downwind. I have double reefed main, and the Genoa, it's barely out. We still haven't made it out of the main channel here. You know, it's pretty windy. We're not heeling too bad because we got reef sails. And we're moving. We've been doing like above 5 for a while now, or right around 5 knots. And I kind of want to see what we're going to get out in the Gulf before I let more sail out. Now we're getting some heavy wind, 6.3 knots. We're hovering right around 6 knots, 6.3. There's 6.3 again. We're really moving for this boat. Yeah. But I think we're in 18 knots. We're not even heeling 15 degrees because we're on a beam reach. So that's nice.
I thought you were telling me.
Alright, well, we're almost out of the channel, and not the nicest sailing conditions. If you can hear that dinging in the background, that's the main buoy for the entrance to Key West. It has a bell in it.
It's the donger.
We're just staying between 5 and 6 now because of the gust, but that's good because we're punching these waves. Something fell. I mean, once in a while this just gets ridiculous, like I want to go home, but I'm pointed that way and it's going to take another 50 hours. So I don't know if there's anything I can really do about it. Susie forgot to latch the table and it just opened and slammed down and broke off. So we had one casualty there.
Susie flapping.
Yeah. We're kind of close hauled right now. Yeah, this table broke off, fell down because she didn't latch it. So it looks like the hinges just broke. So we'll have to fix that. That's not bad, I have those hinges already. But yeah, I just went to the bathroom. Holy cow, it's challenging, to say the least. The conditions would worsen, the waves would get bigger, the wind would increase, and we would really start to wonder what was going to happen next. The catamaran, oh man, catamaran coming up behind us. Our boat's struggling to stay on course with this with this thin keel. We'd be better off in these conditions with the full keel, like a blue water boat, because the waves are so big. I don't know if they're maybe 5 feet. That's what they were forecasted for. It settles down for like, or we get lucky on the waves, I'm not sure. And then it gets crazy where like things fly around and it's just insane. Just the weather changes a little bit. I just talked to the guy in the catamaran for a little bit, and he's going to St. Petersburg, so he's not far from where we're going. He goes, a little rough out here, isn't it? And I said, well, you should try it in a 28-foot boat. He's in his 54-foot Leopard or whatever over there. Like, I mean, they're probably comfortable, like chilling out inside. Oh, there's someone up on top. No, they're still in some rough weather, but they're in the right boat for this. That's the right boat to do this in. Oh shit, look at that.
There's a pelican over there.
Pelican's just chilling out here. I think that might have happened out here when I was trying to go to the bathroom and I felt like I was in a washing machine. I'm fine with this, but I am concerned about our boat. It's old, and you know, so that's my concern really, is just the boat being able to take all this. But so far she's doing okay, and we're just kind of, it's going to be after midnight before the wind turns behind us, so we have a long afternoon and a good ab workout until then. Those people in the catamaran, their front, holy cow, these might be 10-foot waves now. Look at that, jeez. Those people in the catamaran, their bow just went underwater. I hope it doesn't get any more rough than this. This is very difficult. This is challenging.
Hey honey, when are we gonna get to that, hanging out listening to Bob Marley? Like,
yeah, I thought we'd be hanging out listening to Bob Marley. Susie brought her workout mat to work out on the bow. That ain't happening.
it's not
I was sick the first day last time, but this time I'm not sick or even feeling like I'm gonna be sick. I'm curious about going to take a nap, how that's gonna be in this. I mean, I don't know. I think we wait until we get after midnight when we're downwind and things will settle down a lot, and then we'll be good. Now we were doing between 6 and I just saw 7.5.
Yeah.
Man, it is blowing like 20 knots now, and we're over to like, oh, you're tethered still. We're over to like 30 degrees sometimes, tilted. Mostly just like 15 or 20 sailing, and then the rest is the waves. Oh my God. I can't, it's just insane. This is like an amusement park ride right here. It really is. You know, so that catamaran passed us a long time ago, and he's only like, I mean, if we're going 6 to 7, I don't think he's doing more than like 9 maybe. But there's another sailboat that looks like he's coming towards us, or he's sailing away from us and we're catching up to him. So there's 3 crazy people out here today. Probably, like, it never shows it on camera, but we easily have 10-foot waves now from bottom to the top, just easily 10 feet. Well, we just went through some craziness. The wind must have kicked up and we started heeling to like 30 degrees, and then these big waves picked up and the rail there was underwater. We were, for all intents and purposes, that was the water right there. And oh wow, it just picked up a lot. And so we reeled the Geno in, and we're still going 5.6 to 6.5, somewhere between 5.5 and 6.5 on a double reef main. We're getting splashing in here now. We put the Genoa, like, we were going to reel it in, but we just took it most of the way, and it's still a little bit out, but I feel like this is a little bit better, huh? Yeah. It's just the waves, when the waves feel really big and catch us the wrong way. It was scary. Yeah, it was scary that time. We're getting some little increased puffs here, so might be it's windier now. Can't wait to do this in the pitch black darkness tonight. We just measured the wind with our anemometer. We're getting 20 on our beam. Now we're at a beam reach. We were a little bit more close hauled for a while. Wow, it is strong. I feel like if it was 20 when I measured it, it just went up a little more. With barely any Geno out, a double reef main, we're doing 6.7, 6.8, 7.1. Wow. Wow, we're moving. This is just insane. It's just like the craziest ride you've ever been on. And there ain't no getting off for like another 50 hours. Now we're starting to get tossed around pretty bad. We've had a few big, really big, like, I mean, it hit us back here. We were up, they rose up faster than we did. What is that? The autopilot's making a weird noise sometimes. I think it might be overworked, or it might be too much for it. Anyways, we also had some big giant waves come over the bow, like massive waves just hit this.
Is there water in there?
A little bit. It's just probably from
Is that that?
I don't know.
This is just insane. off, so that's good. Keep getting huge, huge swells. Definitely didn't expect this.
We've had that rail in the water probably like 100 times. Where it's just knocked over so far the rail's in the water.
Well, it's been almost 6 hours and the situation has not gotten any better. Caught us when we got knocked down. The whole boom went underwater. That side of the boat went underwater, and I don't know, like the cockpit filled up with water. Everything out here was gone. It got washed overboard. Man,